let's. I believe our next segment we're going to bring Richard Marks back. Am I right? Thank you for a little breakdown on the Sony hardware. Take it away.
Hi, my name is Richard Marks. I work for Sony Computer Entertainment America, and I work in the research and development group. The visual design of the PS3 was done by one of our lead kind of designers in Tokyo. And so with design, I think they were really trying to give this kind of feeling of elegance and still have power. Also, the visual design was done in part, it was affected by the design of the internals of the PlayStation 3. And in particular, the heat control system of the PlayStation 3 is very advanced, and trying to remove all of the heat generated by the powerful processors, they needed a certain kind of shape to the PlayStation. PlayStation 3 is actually amazingly quiet. It's something that I think is really a testament to the hardware engineering that went into it, is how quiet it actually is. Yeah, so the PlayStation, actually we've done a lot of things recently, thinking about applications that could be run almost like as background applications. So if you could leave your PlayStation on overnight, you could actually use it. One of the projects we're working on is this project with Stanford for trying to cure cancer and Alzheimer's disease, where they do this kind of simulation of these proteins. And then one of the neat ideas, you could just contribute a little bit of electricity, and your PlayStation would actively try to help this project. So you could leave it on overnight to do that kind of thing. So there's two versions of the PlayStation 3. They both come with a hard drive. The first one comes with a 20 gig hard drive, and the second one comes with a 60 gig hard drive. But the hard drive is a standard option for all it's a standard built-in thing for all the PlayStation 3 units. So the hard drive is definitely upgradable. It's easily accessible, and you can just actually pop that hard drive out and put in another hard drive, and that's how hard it is to do. Very simple. So for video output, the preferred way, I think, we're kind of moving into this digital era, and HDMI is the first kind of true digital output connection that is supported. And that's probably, if you have an option to use the HDMI, that's the one we'd always recommend. 1080p is supported best under HDMI. You can use 1080p over component, but more televisions support 1080p through HDMI than they do through component. So the PlayStation 3 is coming out November 17th in America, and I hope everyone is able to get one and enjoy it. I think it'll be a really fun experience for people.
Thank you, Richard Marks. You guys hear that? The hard drive is easily, as you saw, to talk to Kaz Hirai. Mm-hmm. We also got to talk to a couple other Sony executives as well.
Yes, we did.
Including Richard Marks, and he took us on a walkthrough through the UI of the PlayStation 3. That's what people want to see.
Yeah. This is what you'll see when you turn it on without a dang disc in it.
Yes. Check it out.
Well, what we're really going for with the interface to PlayStation 3 is something that's powerful but simple to use. So this one, we think it's very clear what you're supposed to do to navigate it. If anyone's used the PSP before, they might be familiar with the cross-media bar, but this is a definitely expanded version of the cross-media bar. So we have this kind of user concept where you actually log in as a certain user. And right now I only have one user on the system, so I'm automatically logged in right now. Then there's settings, and there's lots of different settings for this device. I'm not going to go into all the settings, but probably some of the key ones are display. Right now we're displaying 1080p on this monitor. We could also display 720p, 480p, or right now I'm hooked through HDMI. You can go through component or composite connections. Then just like PSP, there's a kind of a photo, a music, and a video, and a game, and network. There's all these different kind of categories, they're called, and you can go into the category and see some images that I have here. I'll give you an example of an image here. I can make a slideshow, and there's lots of different formats of slideshow. So you can have this kind of traditional slideshow where it goes through and it just goes from image to image. And we have some kind of variations on the theme, which is this is kind of a unique one that we have that is more like the idea is like you've laid all your photos out on the table and you just want to look at them. And you can see I can kind of just, photos get dropped onto the table. And you see this kind of 3D feeling of the photos. One of the settings that we have here is under music settings, is I can import my CD onto the hard drive. And you can pick your CD import settings. So you can pick which format you want to import. I'll pick, let's see, MP3 for example, and then you can pick your bit rate that you want to import at. So here I'm going to import this CD and it's going to start. It'll just start spinning up the CD and reading it, and then start importing the tracks. So here I'm playing the music. It's got a visualizer. You can cycle through. There's a few different kind of visualizers. I can break out of this, and then I can start my slideshow again. And so I can leave the music running while slideshow's running. So already, just from the menu system, you can get some photos on the screen and some music playing, and then just at a party, you can just do that much with it and already be up and running without really any complication. One of the most exciting areas, I think, is the video area. Actually, we talked a lot about the cell processor and when we talked about the PS3, and this kind of shows the cell processor in action. Actually, all these different movies are being decompressed live, and you can see the different thumbnails actually all streaming the movie, and then the audio from whichever one is highlighted is the audio you hear. So right now on the video side, we support MPEG-1, MPEG-2, and the flavor of MPEG-4 that's kind of on the PSP already, the AVC codec that's on PSP. And then for music, you saw we supported AAC and MP3 and A-Track. And then for photos, actually it's kind of hard to find a photo format that isn't supported. I tried. So it supports BMP, JPEG, GIF, let's see, it supports PPM, PNG, lots of different formats that people probably don't even know. So. And then we have a network. We have a browser, and I'll actually just enter the browser. I have us connected to the network here, and I can go over here and I can pick, let's see, I'll pick this one here. So I just changed websites. I actually have a bunch of bookmarks already stored here. Let me pick one of them. Here's the Google web page. So it's just showing the browser. And if I zoom out, you can see these are the 3 different browsers I have open. And I can actually just switch to that one very quickly, and I can see just by clicking what all I have open and switch between them. Also, if I do pick, let's see, I'll pick that website, and then I can kind of expand and have it fill the screen. And the text input we use for the browser currently is kind of similar to the PSP web browser. So, and also in conjunction with that, if you were going to do some serious text input, lots and lots of text input, you could plug a keyboard into it, a USB keyboard into the front. Another thing that's kind of neat is we have this idea of a PlayStation Store that's built into the network choice. And then finally, we have a friends list kind of idea where you can have your friends that you can chat with. You can do audio chat or video chat or text chat with your friend. And you can also hook up to your friends to play a game online. There's different kinds of PSP. There's just the idea of plugging your PSP in and seeing the content that's on your PSP. And then there's also the idea of using your PSP in a game as part of a remote kind of play capability. So there's 2 different things. So it's possible for a game to actually leverage the PSP as a personal screen that you hold in your hand and you have personal information. So that's what the remote play idea is. My name is Richard Marks, and I was just showing you a quick overview of the PlayStation 3 user interface capabilities.
Thank you, Richard. That is the PlayStation 3.
Oh, I thought maybe they just like pointed a camera at a PSP or something.
Oh, good one. Oh, I've never heard that one before.
Zing! That little wavy line before that was in the background of the screen, that you actually see that kind of come into view when you first power it up. There's a little sound effect and just kind of ripples up and has some colors as PlayStation 3. Then it fades to that.
Sure.
So it has its own little startup.
Does the background color change every month as well?
I don't know. I imagine it must. I mean,
I see that, and it looks cool. Like there's a lot of stuff you can do, but I do not see that looking amazing unless you have an HD television or a larger television. Yeah, it's a lot of little words.
So you're saying you should buy a new TV? I think that's where we're at with this.
I do have a birthday coming up.
New Sony TV.
At the event, they were showing all the games on these new like
those were pretty nice.
They're really nice.
Actually, really nice though. No, those are expensive.
They're like $3,000 or something.
Are they? Yeah.
So it's only a little more than
there's
a
some
PSP.
There's some surprising stuff in there, like the ripping CDs in 3 different codecs and importing music.
Yeah, so you can import your music library into MP3 or whatever those other 2 are. I mean, really, it's like who uses A-Track? Who's gonna?
You do. Ryan Davis, have any questions?